Okay, today we're going to create an app that makes a magic 8-ball to predict the future. We need to make sure that we have two web pages open. The first web page is the tutorial page, and the second web page is actually the App Inventor screen. We'll go to Projects and Start New Project and give it a name. The name we're going to use is called Magic 8-Ball. Remember, there can be no spaces between words in App Inventor names. So we'll hit OK, and it should open it up for us. Before we begin designing it, we need to go to the tutorial page and download our sounds. So it says here you can download one image and one sound file from below to be used in your app. You can use any one you want. I like the cha-ching sound, so I'm going to right-click and hit Save Link As. Since this is a sound, I'm going to choose to save it in my libraries in my music folder. It's named Cha-Ching, so I'll hit Save. Then I'm going to download an image, and I'm going to choose the Magic 8-Ball image. So I right-click on that, Save Link As. I'm going to save it in my Images or Pictures folder and hit Save. All right, it's probably a good idea to pause the video and download those images and that sound. All right, I hope you're back. The next thing that we need to do is go back to our App Inventor website. On the left column of our designer page, we're going to look at the user interface palette right here. We're going to take a button and drag that button component over to our screen like that. We need to set this button to our Magic 8-Ball image. So on the right, under Properties, I'm going to choose Image and upload the Magic 8-Ball image that I just saved. I do that by going to Libraries, and I saved it in Pictures. Now I have to scroll down and find that Magic 8-Ball. I'm going to click OK. It's going to show up on my screen. Okay. Under button 1 here, I'm going to rename it so that when I go to code it, I can relate to it easily. I'm just going to rename it as Ball, B-A-L-L, and click OK. You notice something else, that you can see that it says text for button 1 on it. So I'll highlight that over on the right in Properties and erase it and hit Enter. Now I just have our image up here. Next thing we're going to do is set our component's sound file. So we want to make sure that we, hang on. Okay, we want to make sure that we go to Media and choose Sound and drag it over. And now in Properties, we need to choose the source of that sound. And we do that by uploading the sound file we just downloaded. I saved it in Music, and it was called Cha-Ching. So I'm going to open that and hit OK. All right, now we're going to tell our app how to behave when our button is clicked. And as you remember, our button is the Magic 8-Ball. So to do some programming, we click the box button in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And our ball is our button, so we click on it and we say when ball 1 is clicked. Then we're going to click the sound and have this call sound 1 play. Now is a good time to save our project. So you can go to Projects and Save Project. Okay, let's test it out. We're going to minimize App Inventor and make sure that the AI starter is running in the background. And it's not up and loading yet, but like all things that are free, they're slow and glitchy. Okay, it's up. So let's go back to App Inventor's website, Connect, and Emulator. This will open up the emulator in the background. Okay, my emulator's up and running, so I'm going to click it to test it out. All right, that was really soft. Let me turn up the volume so you can hear it. Okay, that was really loud, but I hope you were able to hear it. So we figured out how to put a button on our screen, and when we click it, it plays a sound. The next thing we want to do is to be able to click the button, get a prediction, and hear a sound. So we need to go back to the designer, which is right here, and we're going to look at layout. The layout allows us to arrange things in a certain way on our screen. You may already be familiar with this by doing the drawing app. So I'm going to drag over the vertical arrangement component. It looks like this. At first, our vertical arrangement looks just like an empty box, but when you put things in it, App Inventor will know that you want to line them up vertically, like one on top of another. So the first thing I want to put inside it is a label component. So I go to User Interface, and I find where it says Label. And I'm going to drag that right inside this box and let it go. Okay, so for this label, I need to change what it says here. Instead of text for label 1, I'd like it to say, Ask the Magic 8-Ball a question. I do that by going to Properties and finding the text and typing it in. Ask the Magic 8-Ball a question. And I hit Enter, and it shows up. Next, I'd like to have one more label. So I go back to User Interface and Label, and I'm going to drag it and drop it just below the first label. I'd like this label to say something like, touch the magic 8-ball to receive your answer. So again, I'm going to go right here and type in my text. Okay, I have my two labels. I'm going to take this whole vertical arrangement and drag it down underneath the ball. I'd like my ball to be bigger, so I'm going to click on it, and in height, I'm going to change the pixels to 300. See what that looks like? And I have to do the same thing with width so that it's not out of shape. Perfect. It's a good time to save. To do that, you go to Projects and Save. Okay, now for the fun part. You're going to make a list of predictions and program the button to pick one item from the list and display it inside Label 2. So to do that, we need to go to the Blocks palette and click the blocks on the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And then we're going to click on Label 2. And then we'll see all the different blocks associated with it. We're looking for the one called Set Label 2 dot background color. And that's right here. I'm going to pull that over. And notice that when the button one click block automatically gets bigger to accommodate the new block when I slide it in there. So watch what happens. Perfect. So I've got it under there. And when I click on the word background color, I can change the property that's being set. And we want to change the text so our blocks will look like Set Label 2 Text. So I'm looking for text. Perfect. Set Label 2 Text 2. Then I'm going to go to the Lists drawer because I'm going to be creating a list. And I'm looking for Pick Random Item. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit. There's something that says Random Item. Where is it? Pick Random Item from a list. Because when we ask our Magic 8-Ball a question, we want it to randomly pop up a response. Now we get to type our lists. Okay, to make our list, we're going to go back to the list drawer and pull out the Make a List blocks. So let's see, make a list. Make a list. Okay, and you noticed right here, it gives me the opportunity to put two things in my list. I want more. So I'm going to hover over this little gear and click and grab another item and put it down. And you notice how it has 3 empty sockets? Now it's going to have 4. And now it's going to have 5. So I'm going to keep going. And I think I'm going to have, you can have as many as you like. I think I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 5. Let's do 6, 7, and 8. Okay. It's a good time to save. Projects, save. All right, next we're going to go to text and get the empty text boxes and plug these in. Let me show you a trick. If you right-click here and hit duplicate, you can get more without having to drag them over. What you write in here is up to you. I'm going to use some ones that are pretty common to Magic 8 balls. Let's see. The first one I'm going to write, it is certain. Oops. The next one I'm going to write, without a doubt. The next one, as I see it, comma, yes. The next one I'm going to write is ask again later. Let's do one that says reply hazy, try again. Okay, don't count on it. Except I spelled it wrong. My sources say no. Outlook not so good. Okay, good place to save. I left my emulator running, so when I opened it and clicked it, it gave me answers. Let's see. Will we have another snow day before the end of the school year? I click my Magic 8 ball and it says, Outlook not so good. Let's see. Will Mrs. Smith win the lottery next week? Without a doubt. All right. So once you've tested it, you can move on to the last part of this app. Okay. The last part of the app allows us to shake the phone, get a prediction, and hear a sound. Even though we have a working Magic 8 Ball app, we can make it more fun by adding the accelerometer component. This only works on an actual device, and I just happen to have some that you can use to test this out. So it will make the app a lot more like a real Magic 8 Ball toy. Okay, so to do that, we need to go back to our designer. And in our palettes, we need to go to the sensor components. So I go to sensors, and I'm going to look for the accelerometer and drag it over. Notice it shows up on the bottom of the screen in the non-visible component section because you cannot sense something that is shaken. Okay, we're going to go to the blocks programming section and click on that accelerometer, and we're going to select when accelerometer sensor 1 is shaking. Okay, so since we're not going to have the ball be clicked, we're going to just drag all of our blocks down here and put them into the accelerometer, and we're going to delete this guy. Okay, and now's a good time to save. And now your app is set up to work on an actual device. So if I click this button, it's not going to do anything on the emulator because it's set up to be shaken, and we cannot shake this. It doesn't do anything. So we have to test our app using a tablet. To do that, you go to Build, App, Provide QR Code for the APK, and wait for a while to load up the QR code. Then you'll ask for a tablet, we'll scan it in, install it, and you can test the app on an actual tablet. Once you've got it tested, show me that it works, and I will give you credit for it. All right, have fun.